PM Modi held a very good and detailed conversation with President Putin, and during the phone call, Prime Minister Modi thanked President Putin for sharing the latest developments on Ukraine. Both leaders also reviewed the progress and bilateral agenda. They reaffirmed their commitment to further deepening the India-Russia Special and Privileged Strategic Partnership. Prime Minister Modi also looked forward to hosting President Putin in India later this year. And Jessica Taneja is joining us with more on this story. Well, Jessica, Putin also spoke to Xi Jinping today. So, this is, you can put that into context. Both these calls seem to be connected in some way.
Well, I can't say that with certainty, perhaps, but the call with the Prime Minister certainly seemed to have made few heads turn. But that was on expected lines. As you'd recall, there is an annual summit that takes place between the two countries. It was held last year in Moscow. I was present there. There was discussion. There was a bilateral trade. There were ways to sort of ensure bilateral trade is agreed between the two of them and to enhance it further. There were various agreements that were also signed and inked for the future in various sectors. And this perhaps is also timed in a sense where you saw the National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval, was also in the Kremlin. He met with the President Vladimir Putin just a few days ago. And the confirmation, perhaps the finalization of his visit is yet to be ascertain as to when exactly will he be here in New Delhi. But the timeline, what we can be assured is, of course, the end of this year, and as it usually does take place. So it's pretty routine for the Indian Prime Minister to meet his Russian counterpart, and which has been the case for many years now. Although there are geopolitical uncertainties that sort of dictate the current order, but we haven't been given to understand from at least the statement so far as to what was discussed. But the developments on Ukraine were apprised of, which is what the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had put out in a statement that this did come up. And as Russia's occupation in Ukraine continues, and with the potential meeting with President Donald Trump next week, this is, of course, a different time in the world of global affairs.
Indeed, and if we put into context, the strategic autonomy that India has in terms of its purchases of oil, this too is important. And of course, Russia being, a major military partner with India, and also joint development of various projects. So this is a very close partnership. It's a special and strategic partnership that has now been reaffirmed through this phone call. Would we have any potential dates for the meeting?
Well, potential dates, of course, have not been given out yet, but the confirmation that this annual summit will take place by the end of this year in itself cements the relationship that India and Russia have had, be it in the military or the defense sector, or be it in other sectors such as oil, where India imports 38% of its energy needs from Russia. So certainly an important partner, and perhaps the reason why President Donald Trump has found that particular sticking point to negotiate tariffs with India, and India has been relentless on the stand, wherein it says it will continue to take oil from Russia because the Indian economy is engineered and powered with that energy inflow. And perhaps this relationship, as we've seen in the past as well, Mark, it's withstood quite a few challenges here and there. You saw the Prime Minister last year when he visited Moscow for the annual summit. He did go to Ukraine as well just a few weeks later. Yes. So India has had its strategic autonomy when it comes to engaging with nations, and his whole stand on the entire issue has also been reiterated the fact that this is not an era of war and solutions are not found on the battlefields, but at the same time the relationship continues to be steady given how the kind of security challenges India faces on its border, both with Pakistan and China. And Russia certainly is an all-important partner, a special friend, as both call each other. And that relationship has remained not just with the current circumstances, but it has weathered all kinds of storms.
We leave it there. Thank you very much, Jessica Taneja, for putting that into context for us.